In your bed. Paint with Josh before you go. Everybody get your acrylic gesso out today. Come on. When he paints that sky, we're going to need both black and white. A little tin of water. Our black and white acrylic gesso on our plate here. We're going to paint that sky. Hey guys, all right. Oh, geez. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's Paint with Josh. We're back in the studio with you today. Hi, I'm Josh. Nice to meet you. If you're just tuning in, we have a bare blank canvas today. Oh, it's nice. I can actually touch it to my cheekies, right? And I'm going to show you how to do a really cool scene with nothing on the canvas except my oily skin, right? Now, all we need is our Liquitex white gesso in two little piles. We got our black gesso over here. We got some paper towels, a little bit of water, and a little foam brush, right? Looks just like this. Where is it? Just a little foamy brush, just like that. All you're gonna need, right? It's gonna be fantastic. So, let me know where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? And all I'm doing up here, just like a magic trick, right? We're gonna... Poof! Oh, it's gone. Where'd it go? It's right here. Don't worry about it. We're going to take a little bit of our gesso. We're going to go right into the pile, man. Oh, it's gross. I'm going to get up here and just start mushing. And as we start mushing, it's going to get very bright. And then the more the paint that comes off of our paper towel, it's going to get darker and darker and darker, right? Doesn't have to be perfect. This is the best part about this part is everyone's can look a little bit different, right? They're never going to be all exactly the same. We just want to have a little bright area, and then we work it out, kind of back and forth, tapping, right? Bringing some of that brightness out here, back and forth, a little circle, all over the place, right? All we're doing, tap, 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 tap. Little taparoos is all we need to do, right? Tell me where you're watching from, guys. What's your favorite sandwich? Watch this. Let me pop something over here. This is an 18 by 24 inch canvas, right? So that bar that runs across the canvas is right there in the middle. It kind of shows you right where your middle of your canvas is going to be. Okay, so let's take the same paper towel and let's go, I don't know, let's start rubbing it back here. Right? Leave a little bit of water back there, right? We'll start coming over here and we'll mix it and we'll push it over and we'll pop it down this way. And we're just pulling it with our paper towel back and forth, just like that. Boom, 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 right? All it is a little guideline for us. It's not our finished product, right? So don't worry about it. Just a little guideline. Come back here, get a little bit more of the paint onto our paper towel of a brush over here, right? Just rubbing it in, rub it in. Just like, shit, we figured it out the other night. What was the name? Scrub it in? No, different. No, that is it. I've already forgotten. It's okay. Back over here, dabbing in right now. Let's figure maybe our waterfall comes off like this, right? So we just need to pick a place where we're going to have it falling, drooping down. And again, this is just a guideline. We can go back and cover over this if we wanted to. And going over to the right and down for the right-hand side, kind of straight down in the middle, left and down for the left-hand side. One more little dab in here. Let's take a couple little splashers and we'll put them at the bottom. Again, just a guideline for us. Nothing crazy. Right? Down like that. Take the bottom and let's turn this into some water down there. Hey, very cool, right? We can always go back in with our oils and cover over all the stuff that we don't want to see out of this, right? Super simple, super easy. Now, let's get into making sure this has a few seconds up there to dry anyway. Just a couple little bits. Actually, let's get into here. Let's come over here and just make it a bit more brighter. Just over on this side, right? We don't want to go all the way to the edge with the brightness, but you can allow a little bit over there. Thank you so much. I just love you. Appreciate you. Okay. Now, let's get in here with our, turn to our black gesso and our little foamy brush. And you don't need to get a lot on there, boy, oh boy, let me tell you. Just a small little bit. And we can even do it while this stuff is still wet, right? Doesn't even make a difference. Let's come in here very light, just all these little trees and little booms and little thingies off in the distance, right? You can add little bits of branches and stuff to yours if you want, but trust me, you're not going to see a whole lot of those guys. So don't waste your time, okay? Now, without fully cleaning it, we're gonna dab it off right over here onto our paper towel. Come back over here into our little mini white section. That little mini section, thank you for the gifts, I appreciate it. That little mini section is to make our gray right here, right? Again, you don't want to have too much on the brush. Right? A little bit lighter color than our dark, and we can see, ooh, see, that's kind of very much the same. So let's get a lot more of our white onto our little brush. In here, just work it into a lighter gray. Let's come across it again. That's better. Over there, bang, right? Very much a lighter color than that supreme dark black. A couple little things, all you need. Now, again, dab off our little brush onto a little paper towel. Just like that, squeeze it, boom. Get the majority of the gray off. And let's go back over to the pure white, right? Again, we don't need too much of it onto our little foamy brush. Right out there, a couple more little guys. Just wherever, shapoopy, wherever you want them to be, baby. But boom! All you gotta do, a couple little things. Now, dab off that white. I know, pain in the butt. We're gonna throw this paper towel away. Actually, we might be able to save that and do our last little bits of things right here, okay? Now, let's go back to our black section. And we, again, don't need a whole lot on the brush, okay? Out into here, let's start rocking through, right through the top. Just, by the time we land, poof, we're right down, right into this darker area, kind of cutting away where our river is coming from. Right now, with these foam brushes, the more that you push down, the more chance you have of leaving like a ridge of paint out there on the edge, right? So I always say, don't have too much paint in your brush. Come down in here like this. And maybe off the back side, just create this whole just monster of a tree. Just big, crazy, right? Boom. Drop him down right there. Maybe we'll give him one or two more branches. Just one. Maybe one right here. Make it all crazy looking. Boom. Right? Hey, doesn't have to be perfect, guys. I'm telling you. Now, you can go back in with your little liner brush, right? And our tin came from Glitterwix, because she's awesome. But our tin of our water is all it is. It's just I don't have like I don't have a little cup that I can go back and or a little, you know, I'm not an acrylic painter, so I don't have all the acrylic stuff. So I just had to get a little tin, a little bit of water in it, and then we scoop some of the water out into our little pile. So now it's much runnier. Look at that. Woo! Woo! Crazy. Don't go too far. Don't go too far. We can start out here. And remember, this tree is going to be covered. The majority of it gets covered. So don't worry about adding every single branch off every single bit. You might notice one or two. Seriously, by the time we get done, you might only notice just a couple little guys. So don't add too many, Josh. Kick it out into the night. Right now, once we get this guy all said and done skis, right, throwing some darkness off there, maybe he needs one big old branch just to, right in front of all those little guys out there, right? Just to help push it back. Nothing crazy, man. That guy needs to be bigger. This guy needs to be bigger. Just a broken old busted up branch, right? My favorite kind. Now we're gonna wash our brush in our little water cup. Shake it off. I don't think we're gonna need much more than that. If you wanted to, okay, let's get a little bit of our water. We can go right into our white with just that little touch of our water, right? And we can add just a couple little bits and branches and stuff and things. They're all gonna get covered up anyway with our bunch of our foliage, right? So we can just throw a couple on here. Boom, boom, boom. And then all this stuff is all going to get covered up by our foreground trees and all that. So don't worry about it, okay? Now, let's take our last bit of our paper towel that we had. It's all just gross. That's why we wear gloves. We can go into our white and just kind of dab at it very lightly. And let's just put some faraway little indications just by tapping in our little tree back here. Boom, boom, boom. Just a couple little bits, right? You're never going to see every branch, you're never going to see every tree. That's why I say don't focus on your branches too much, because we're not going to even notice them by the time we get done. Tapping out in the night. Isn't that cool? Now, let's take that same paper towel. Come down in here, a little bit brighter, right? It's going to stand out a little bit more. Don't let these two brights touch. Get very close, but don't let them touch. Woo! baby, just like that. Come down like here. Now, at this point, in our next painting, we have a little bridge, right? So let's take our black gesso on our foam brush. Now, some of the times these bridges can be a pain in your tush. Okay, let me tell you, I probably worked on this other one for way too long. So let's pick a spot right here, right? Because my other one was down too far. So let's pick a spot right here. And let's go up and over. And this little rounded little... Perfect. Just gorgeous, right? Drop it down. Drop it down. Make it a little bit sharp on either side. Right? At least that's how you know, for me, where it's kind of supported. Right? It doesn't have to be too big, too thick, too crazy. Roll off, because all this stuff ends up getting covered on either side. Right? So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, little guy. Now, let's get over here with our little paper towel again, into the white, tapping and covering over that little bridge, right? We don't necessarily need to see its bottom, where he's coming from, and now we're deciding, okay, let's say we want our land to just come all the way up, right up into there, covering some of that rivery area. And say you get a little bit too dark or too bright, come back in, darken that sucker up, man. Right? That black gesso over the top, let's flip it around to the other part of our white gesso. Add a couple little bits, leave those dark spaces in there, right? Falling down over the edge, little flowers, little things, little such, right? All these little cool little things we can do. I keep forgetting where there is paint on this guy. There we go, just by dabbing it in, working it, working it, working it. And all these flowers are gonna roll off the edge. Now, this guy, I would imagine, have a couple little bushes down around his little base, covering up these little sides, dabbing over here, and then eventually just rolling down the edge. Right? You may end up covering them all. You might not cover any of them, right? So you get to decide. Now, let's put one little touch, right? If we get some white on our little acrylic brush with a little bit of water, just a little bit, let's get out here. And just on the top, right, we're just going to add one touch of like a white line, wherever it wants to be, because these bridges are in the mist, right? They're in the sunlight. We can't see every detail of all these little bridgeries, okay? So don't make it too detailed, otherwise you'll lose that kind of sunlight blasting through the forest kind of a feel. Let's pop some bushes in around this guy too. Bang, just like that. Gorgeous, guys. Now, do you want to know how to paint that sucker with your oil paints? Because I can show you. Literally one paper towel, a little bit of paint onto our thing, and a foam brush and a little liner brush. You guys can do this too, I'm telling you. Just like that. I'm telling you. Now, let's get going with our oil paints, my friends. My friends and guys. Now, if we wanted to, we could wait until all of these things dry, right? But I just so happen to have another canvas already prepped and done and dried from earlier today. That's very, very, very close. Very similar to what we just did, right? So now we can paint over this guy, and I can load it up with colors and show you how it's done. Remember, if you want to get this painting, go to PaintWithJosh.com. Very first thing you're going to see out there. Let's see over here. Guys and gals and painting pals. All right, now we have to cover our canvas. Right? This canvas is nice and dry. It's been sat for an hour or so. It's all dried up. You have to make sure it's dry because the oils and the acrylics don't mix. Okay? Meaning that if we took our oil paint and we tried to drag it across the acrylic, it's just going to smear it bad. Oh, it's going to be foul. Just foul, right? So we're going to dump our brush, literally mush it and spread it just about as far as we can possibly get. And all over the place. Now, this is what's called a wet canvas, right? It was dry, where we would be putting wet paint on dry, right? But now we're putting wet paint on a wet canvas, which means that we play by other kind of rules, right? So, also, if your canvas is not wet, guess what? The things that old Paint with Josh is doing might not work for you because we've got a different thing. Right? What I'm trying to do is open up my, oh, goodness gracious, it's a brand new bottle. Why is it so stuck? Oh! Oh, you son of a bitch. Ah! Dude! I might need a towel or something. Can't get this sucker open. This thing's like sealed, man. Somebody must have spilled something on it. I'm talking about like, oh, I hear movement. There we go. Goodness. Oh, my poor hand. My poor little hand. There it is. Oh, it's all chunky around the, and like crispy around the edges. Woo. Okay, no wonder. Now let's peel this guy off. Watch this part rip. It'd be a butt. Oh, there we go. Very careful. Now you can see, even at a brand new thing, it's very syrupy. It's not very watery, right? It's kind of like syrup. So, what we're going to want to do is spread it just about as far as you possibly can. And that's going to do us some good. Okay, put this guy over here. I just don't have anything even set up or ready. There we go. Okay, guys. Now, we got our oil paint supplies already over here next to us. We just got to get a couple colors. So, you guys got to tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? I'm going to finish wetting down this whole thing. Right, making sure it's all the same amount of wetness. So, where are you guys from out there? Remember, if you want to grab this painting, it's going to be just beautiful. You got to go to PaintWithJosh.com and be the first person over there, man. And you can get your version of this deep woodsy painting. Just like this, guys. Man, look at this thing. Super simple. Spread that clear out. Make sure you got it all over the canvas. Now, I can already feel that I have way too much because the brush is like gripping. There's way too much clear on it. Okay, which is why I always say you have to absoluten. You gotta wipe off that excess clear. Otherwise, this clear, if we left it and it was thick enough in certain areas, it could drip down in places and like pull color out of your painting. It's horrible. All right, so let's take our paper towel very firmly, right? Getting off all that excess. We don't need all that stuff. Now, I use the Viva paper towels because they deposit the least amount of paper towel bits onto your canvas, right? So, Brawny I find is like super bitty. It'll just, your whole paper towel will be stuck to your canvas. You're using the wrong brand. So, let's get out here, over there. Boom, now it's nice and slick, right? The more of that sticky, syrupy paint that we put on that you remove, the slicker it gets. Nice and slippery now. All right, let's throw a couple colors onto the old palette. We don't need many. We got our Indian yellow. We're gonna need blue. We're gonna need, oh, we don't need brown. I'd say it's about enough blue. That's about enough white too, my goodness. That's probably not enough black, actually. Or blue. Especially if we're making up some big old monster trees, guys, right? So, let's see. This guy, that guy, I just had to order a new tube of blue because I'm nearly out of it. We sure do go through a lot of blue when we do paintings, don't we? Just a lot. Some of my dark sienna brown. I'm going to get some of my Van Dyke brown as well. And then we'll be all set, everybody. So, man, I guess you can shop for these crazy wall panels that I have too. They're so awesome. I put out a video on how I put them up, and I think when I bought them they were $50, and then I just bought like 6 more packs. And they were on sale. They were like 30% off. So they're probably still on sale if you want to get them. Shop that little button down the bottom of my screen over here. you might be able to get them for, I think I paid like $39 for my per set for the 30 pack. And if you're gonna do a big space, you gotta have a lot of them. Just a lot of them. Okay. Now, we're all set, guys. No, we're not. Just my goodness. Could have been, I had the whole day to be ready. I'm so sorry, guys. Just what have you been doing all day, Josh? Farting around, sitting on the couch, not doing anything? There we go. Perfect. This, that. We got our brush. We gotta dry it off. Always make sure that when you finish beating the devil out of your brush, that you go back and dry it off. Especially on a black canvas. It doesn't have to be 100% dry, but you want it to be dry, let me tell you. Now, let's get in here. A little of our Indian yellow, because the Indian yellow is a transparent color. You know what that means? I'm going to show you right here. It means that when we put it over a light colored area, you're going to see it. But when it goes across that dark colored area, you don't. It's invisible. What am I... It was supposed to be a blue sky, Josh. Well, I guess it's a sunset-y one now. Oh, well. Oh, well. I wanted a sunset. It's fine. It's all good. We can do them all. We do them all anyway, right? So, now that my idea is out the window, let's take our next darkest color, which is probably going to be some crimson-y bit. All right, we're going to start working some of this bit in down here. Now, depending on how much you push it out and spread it, could be very bright crimson, or if we spread it enough, it'll get darker and darker and darker and darker and darker. So, the more that you play around with it, the cooler it's going to be. It's more that Indian yellow. Put it down here in our little river. Oh, the river. Oh, it's going to be so cool. Right over to the edge. It's going to fall down. It's going to be like a golden, just a golden river, man. That's going to be cool. Gonna be neat. Okay, back to our crimson-y color. Maybe we'll put some of it down here. Just letting it blend in with that Indian yellow that's already there, right? If it's a little bit too crimson-y, throw some of our orange, or our yellow in and just turn it into orange. The more that we work it, the more it's gonna spread out and get all over the place. Gorgeous, right? Just push on it hard, though. You gotta spread it out, man. If you're not spreading it to its full spreading potential, then you're going to have a crazy old thing happening in there, okay? A little bit more of our crimson. Just 2 undercolors for this guy. Maybe we'll throw in some brown as well. Maybe. We'll keep it sunsetty. I like it sunsetty. A little bit more of our crimson on the brush. We get to decide where our crimson comes from, where it stops, how much we mush it. Right, maybe we want it a little bit darker, kind of down around the base. Right in there. Kind of add a little bit of our crimson, a little touch of our dark sienna brown. Up in here, let it work through, right, until we like it. That's going to be cool. Oh, that's going to be cool. Up here too, just to get it on there, right? Now, all of these little transparent colors are now shining in the white area and very dark in the black area, which is exactly what we need. So we're gonna wash off our brush, get out here, shake it off. Boom, boom, boom. And let's start throwing some paint on this guy. All right, got 25 minutes worth of setup time. You just saw me do it live. Ouch. Doesn't look like E.T. has a hold of my finger over here. But you've seen me do it live, okay? 25 minutes, that's it. That's all you gotta do. Literally. Tap off our little brush. Now let's grab some white paint. Oh yeah. Let's get some white onto the old brushery. All right, pull it down like this. A little bit of white out there in the night. Okay, a little bit of white onto our brush. Let's come up and let's pick just a bright spot. Maybe it's right there this time, right? So we start getting a little bit bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. That looks kind of cool. That looks kind of cool, right? Just messing around. But all you got to do is blend that little bit of white out and out and out and out and out and out and out. and it'll blend in with all of our little colors back here, right? Now, we obviously can't do it with so much white on the brush that every time that we touch it, it keeps leaving white, right? So let's switch back to that 2-inch brush that we just cleaned off. I'm gonna come back here into the center and let's start to blend it, right? You wanna keep it very bright there. And the more that we mix and blend, the more that brightness will kind of go away, right? Pushing on it, pushing on it, pushing on it, pushing on it. Just having all that bright, just lighting up our colors that we had underneath, right? Until we like how it looks, is really all it is. You gotta put, you know, however much paint that you think you need right there. Drop it in, a little bit of brightness again. Brighten up that one spot even brighter. Right, go back in with our other brush, soften it down. Very cool, guys. Very cool. Now let's take a few little things and just get crazy. Maybe from our bright spot, it's just like right down through here, through there. Right? You never know. And you're never gonna know unless you do it, right? Can't have it coming through every branch, by the way. Don't want to just go straight over every branch. Gotta have it behind some, in between some, in between them. Just blasting it out, right? And if you get a little bit darker, let's go back in there and brighten it up with your white. You want it to be the brightest thing and still be able to see those little bits of branches off in the back, right? That's the best part about it, guys. The best part about it is we get to do whatever we want to do, man. Literally, to make it look however you want. You have this ultimate power. The power of making it look however you want it to look. Gotta hide that bridge in that sunlight. Woo! Perfect. So, you are He-Man out there. You have the power. Gorgeous. Now, let's get in here and start mixing up a bit of our darkness, you guys. Hello, Mr. Dude. Was that you? Now I gotta check my phone. Now I gotta check the old phone. Did Aunt Anna? No. Did she? You crazy lady. I love yous. Let's see. She did, you guys. Anna grabbed this painting. And you know what the bad thing is? Anna's recent painting that she bought got damaged by the mailman. And I'm still going to repaint you another one. I'll send it in the same box with this one, though. Gonna be gorgeous, guys. Love it. Okay. Let's get in here with our fan brush as well before we start getting too crazy, right? We can't see much of the river back there because all of our light is shining down in front of, right? But now, maybe at some point back in here, maybe underneath the shadow of our little guy, toss a couple little bits in, right? Little things back in there. Not everywhere is going to be as bright. We'll start coming out with our little water. Side to side, side to side. Very flat. Very flat little water. Okay, let's load up. This is a brand new brush, by the way. Didn't even realize. Load up on that white paint. And remember, we got to go over to the side and down on our right-hand side. Depending on how much paint you have on the brush, depend on how thick or how bright or whatever that your waterfall is, right? How brightly do you want to have it? Maybe over here, we got over there. Now let's start coming straight down, over to the left, left, left a little bit more each time before we're pulling down, right? Into our misty area, we're going to take the back of him. Just go very straight and just sort of connect them into that bit of brightness right there. So literally all it is the water getting bright right before it falls over the edge, right? Into here with our white color, dabbing up into our little bit of our watery area now. You don't want to go too far down. That's why we leave that little dark separator in there, just to show you, don't go down too far, especially with your oil paints. They're going to want to grow, right? So let's leave some space. Let's come out here, grab up our little 1-inch brush, and start to mix it down, right? Down, 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 right to where we know our water is going to be, leaving a very, very minuscule even, just a smallish little thing you ever done did scenery of just a little bit of darkness under there, right? Smallest little bit. Then you can come in with your brush. And let's just light up just a little touch of this water. I don't want it to be too bright. There we go. Oh, shoo, guys, that is gorgeous right there. See that little darkness I'm talking about? Smallest little thing. We can even try to get it a little smaller. Ooh, just by dragging that color down over the top. Ooh, just, oh, perfect. Guys, just gorgeous right there. right, eventually, by the time we get down there, we'll come in with our water lines and all that stuff. Put our little river and the things as they're growing out in betwixt our little river falls. Oh, I like it. I like it, guys, and when Josh likes it, everybody likes it. Okay, now, like I said, we need to mix up our darkness for all of our foreground stuff, right? Our bushes, our trees, all that stuff, right? So what are those 3 colors that Josh likes to mix up in order to create Paint with Josh Black, the deepest, the darkest of all deep dark colors? Man, if this color was around during the Spanish Inquisitions, whew, would have been burned at the stake for how dark this color was. The deepest and darkest of all, right? What do we call, or what are the 3 colors that make up that gorgeous deep dark color? Anybody know? Blue, black, and crimson. You guys are correct, man. You're 100% right. We take the black, the blue, the crimson, we mix them all together into a color we call Paint with Josh Plaque, right? Not plaque, P-L-A-C-K, a purple black. Now, let's come in here with our plaque mix. Let's roll it down, wiggle it down onto our brush. Just like that. Boom, 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 right? Onto the thing. We don't need to have too much for our further away trees back here. Now, let's say we had a couple bushes down around the bottom, and then all of a sudden, right in front of this big guy, maybe right in front of our light source, boom! Just toss down another tree branch, right? Now, this guy is going to look so much more in the foreground because of that darkness and having that light in the background. All right, so let's come in here and start tossing off little branches off of this guy. A couple little bits. We come down, we launch one out to the side, maybe we dip down a little bit, launch one off to the other side. Right? Not every little piece is going to all be the most perfectest of all the trees out there in the night. We get to choose what it looks like. How many little things? How far do your branches poke out? Right? They got to come out a little ways. They got to be sharp on the end. So, how far do they go? We get to decide. All up to you. Not me. It's all up to you. I do nothing. I'm doing 0 things, guys, beyond giving you an idea about how you can do yours just a little bit better, right? Let's come down here, grab up a little bit more. Now I'm leaving the trunks exposed down here so we can add more stuff. If you didn't want to add anything else, bring your branches all the way down. Right? Let's come over to this guy. Let's grab him up. Boom! Right down the side, guys. Over here, same thing, just tapping little things. Little taps, little taps. The more we go down, the more we push in. And the more we push in, the more our branches are going to kind of intersect with each other. They're going to just get crazy. Right? We don't want them to be the same height either. At least I don't. It looks a little funky if they're all the same, right? So, very cool little thing. Maybe just, oh, you know, I don't want to add a big old bush down here. So why don't we let's put just a little guy down there. Little baby. Doesn't have to be humongous. Pop him in, pop him in. Doesn't even have to be so full as the other guys. Just a little guy out in the night. Bang, just like that. Just filling in some spaces is all. All right, now we'll come over here. Let's grab up the old bushy brush, or your 1-inch brush, or your oval brush, or whatever you want it to be, right? And let's get crazy with some highlights back here, especially with our shadows. Let's go into our crimson, let's go into our brown, and dab into these guys, maybe into our yellow ochre, just a little bit, just a small little touch, right? A lot more crimson than anything else. We'll come out here and start popping in, maybe right around the edge of or right in front of our little bridge back there. We just had a little bush, just a little bushery, hanging out in the night, right? And he's gonna want some highlights on him. So, in order to do that, let's go into our liquid white paint, right? Come over here into that yellow ochre color, brighten it up just a touch. Let's come off this guy like this. There's a few little things, right? Getting darker and darker and darker as they get down to the bottom. You don't need so many little bits down there. All right, wiping off that color, let's go. Let's see, let's go into, what do we got on the old palette here? Let's go into some of our darker brown, our Van Dyke brown, dabbing into this guy, a little bit of our dark sienna brown, little touch of our plaque, not too much, a little bit. Let's come in with our next little guy back into here. Right? Just kind of rolling down, leaving some spaces in between, filling it up, not trying to cover every piece of every guy. And since we're already over here, you can just literally dangle it down the edge, just dropping off little bits off the side right? It's just our shadowies. And then we go back and we highlight them and cover them. That looks so cool right there, just already as it is. And then we're gonna end up covering it over. But in any case, it looks super neat. All right, let's wash off this brush. Let's get back in here. All right, let's shake this guy off. Get back in here with some green and some stuff, right? A little bit of our highlight, a little bit of our liquid white again into our sap green. A little touch, don't need too much. All right, a little touch. Back in here, get a couple little bits of that darker, deeper green, right? Because not everything's gonna be so bright all the time. But you gotta have some form of something. It can't just be just bare darkness, right? What do we want to go into? Some crimson? Should we go into some medium crimson? Get some pinky blues. A little bit of our, ooh yeah, a little bit of our yellow, a little bit of our crimson-y bit. Catch some light off of these guys, just a little touch. Right? But if we don't have enough of our liquid white, it will not come off of our brush and deposit easily. Right? A couple little bits down there, sneaking through. Right? Go over the edge, a couple little places. Nothing has to be too crazy bright, right? Now let's get in here as well with one of my favorite colors to highlight is this phthalo blue. It just turns out so gorgeous. A couple little pieces here and there, right? Little things. Nothing all has to be the same. Right? You put too much on and you're not gonna like it either. So, easy does it over there, okay? Very cool. Now we got green, yellow, blue, plus the crimson and that kind of goldish color in there. So it's really neat if you ask me. Just if you're asking. Now, we gotta go back over to our plaque mix, and here's when I'm gonna ask you a question. Can I ask you a question? Don't worry, it's not personal. Can I ask you something? Do you think that we have enough Paint with Josh plaque paint right there, in that little pile, right here, in order to make our enormous giant tree? Do you think so? You gotta let me know. Just a yes or no in the comments would work. I get a little bit of my liquid white, a little bit of my sap green, touching in over here, over there, a little bit of my cat or yellow ochre as well. And there we go. That'll help it deposit off of our branches a little easier, right? If it's coming off of our, or not coming off of our branches easy enough, then our mixture is all off. I'm gonna stay out here along the edge first. So we get those little bright bits that are out there, catching some sun over here. And the more we work back up into our tree, the darker our little highlights get, right? And the more that we have to push with our brush to deposit, right? Because it's picking up all that plaque each time that we come in and tap on it. It's depositing some of that color, and it's also picking up some of our plaque mix of that shadow and dragging it back to our brush, right? So, if you're having to push too hard, that's because your ratio is off, and you need to change your ratio more than anything else. Let's see. A lot of times it's not your pressure, it's not the amount of paint, or you know what I mean? It's the mixture of your paint. Do you have that ratio correct? Because if not, we're in for a world of hurt, right? Little dab, couple things over here, little taps, just a little bit lighter in the yellow color, right? And as it mixes with that plaque, which has the blue in it, right? Since we got the yellow and the blue, you'll get those greens together. So we're not going to touch. Got to leave a little bit of darkness in there. A little bit of dark. Start working up our backside. Tip tapping, chip chapping. There we go. Little things, right? Not everywhere out here in the forest is going to be as gorgeously bright as everywhere else. And you don't want it to be too bright, that's for sure, okay? Always leaving little spaces of darkness in between there is really where you want to be. Now let's just go straight sap green for this little guy over here. Just again, so it's a separate color. Tapping off of him, down, down, go back up his little side, right? He doesn't need to be so bright down here in the corner. Just a little baby guy. All right, now, do you think, I asked you, I'm going to ask you again. Do you think we have enough paint in this pile right here in order to create our big giant tree down here in the front? Do you think yes or no as I wiggle down into this brush? Remember, it's a big sticky tree, so answer wisely, right? With the paint on the brush and on the palette, do we have enough? Super duper maybe it is. That's funny. Jennifer says yes. Scotty says yes. Cosmic must have just said something. I missed it. Was that the super duper? Oh, no, that was Airy. Oh, somebody said thumbs up. So, you guys think we got enough? All right, let's get over here. Just like this, we'll plop it down right into our little area, kind of cutting off where our little bridge is in the back, all the way from the top to the bottom. And let's give it just a crazy old, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be straight. You can give it some weird bits. Just fill it up. Right? Look at this tree, guys. That's a tree. It's gonna have a big old face on it too. Just a monstrous face on it. Out here, out there. There's a little bump off of that side. There's a little bump off of that side, just so it's not a perfect thing all the way up and down. All right, dragging it, dragging it, dragging it. Cutting off all that stuff in the background, pushing it way back there, and leaving us room for an awesome little face right down here in the front. Oh, it's gonna be cool. Okay. Now, we've got to get our liner brush, we've got to get our odorless mineral spirits, which is our brush cleaner, right? The stuff we use to clean the paint off of the brushes. And we use that, it's like paint thinner, so it makes our paint thinner, right? It makes it much waterier. And that way, that much more watery paint will deposit, check this out, didn't even touch the tree, didn't even start on the tree branch itself. And we're already down here like, shoo, and a little, couple little bits, right? That first little guy, he's not even connected. There we go. It's because he's coming in from a bigger space above, a taller space up there. A couple little branches, make him crazy, dude. You don't want him to be, you know, soft. You don't want him to be small, not in this case. This guy is an insane monster tree. And he's gonna have a face. So you gotta make him all crazy and scraggly, right? Of course, we're gonna have our branches off the other side. Kind of dangling, kind of down, but horizontally down. You know what I mean? You don't have to go straight down or such a crazy angle. And there's a couple little guys out there, little bits, little things, little details, nothing crazy. Now, we're going to be worried about our face right in here, so let's not put too many more. Zip, straight across. Look at that. Oh, just fabulous. Let's get over here, too. Just fabutastic. Come off of this guy. Zink, zap, zip. All these little things. Maybe just a little thing in the night. One little broken off little bit over there. And these guys are all over. They're in the front. They're in the back. They're streaking off. They're this way. Some are going that way. Some are off to the side. They're just everywhere, guys. Wherever you want them to be is going to make your tree much more scraggles. Scraggly boo. Right? You gotta get the scraggle boobers if you want to have a cool Paint with Josh tree, that's for sure. Yeah, the scraggle boobers. I said it. I said it. I don't know what it means, but I said it. It's fine. Over here. Another little branch off and around the backside. Oh, I love it. I love this little tree, you guys. Cool. Okay. Now that we've got enough of our little branches on there, let's go back in and we're going to start throwing together all this brown, right? And get all this brown paint. Just fantastic. Yeah, we are doing that. Just a little bit of phantasmicism, right? So we're going to take both of our piles of brown, not the whole thing. We might need to go back up there for some more. And if not, we'll use it for our second painting up there. And then remember, you can shop all of these cool little tiles that you see around my thing. You can shop those right in my TikTok shop, right down here, right through the live. You can also get the brand new mouse that I have down there, the Magic John phone screen protectors that we're using, and the tripod that we're using. You can find everything right down there, right? Now, let's take this brown paint. We're going to pull it out. And let's get a little bit of our yellow ochre. And let's mix in our highlight part first. Just so it's bright. Right? There we go. Bang. That's what we're going to have the majority of our little face out of. And then let's get one spot even brighter. And that'll be where our sun is going to kiss our tree. Okay? So, let's get out here. Where do you think your sun is, you know, coming down and lighting up your little bit of tree? We don't want to have everything be this bright color, right? So, little things way out here on the edge, little guys, and then it's going to get darker and darker and darker as it goes back. But that little bit of bright gold on the edge. If Dylan is watching. Dylan Lordich, you stinker. A little bit of bright gold on the edge is going to make our tree look a little bit better. Right out there, over here. Dylan was giving me crap the other day. Just like for a good few hours. It was a good chat. Good old chat. Right, there we go. A little bit of that lighter color. Now let's work into our very darkest color. Okay, let's start from the back. And let's start tapping in all this crazy texture from our tree. Just literally tapping it into the tree and moving. All right, so we'll come in here, we'll start tapping it. You get all these crazy ridged little bits of texture. And you go back and you just tap them down just a littlest bit, right? Little old things in the night. Over here, tapping it. Just getting that dark paint and all that tree bark. All right, we're literally painting the bark of our tree right here, just by attaching it to the tree itself, right, and pulling our knife away, scooping up an enormous amount of it, tapping at it until it's gone. Right, that's literally it. Now, before we get down too far, because I know I'm going to have my little face right here, let's get into that mid-ground paint, right, that little bit of lighter color brown, and let's start coming in and just using it sparingly, not trying to get all the way to the back. Just a little sparing use of that lighter brown color, which some people might not even be able to tell the difference, right? And that's the key. You don't want it such a different color that it's like instantly you can tell, right? You want it to kind of be a gradient from the light to the little bit darker to the darkest. Kind of like that. Just helps make it look a little bit more round. To me. Just to me. All right, so let's say we had our one eyeball. I can see it. And the other eyeball right there. And then we have our little nose of our tree coming down. Literally scraping away the paint into how I want it to be. And then we'll have our O face of our tree right there. Very cool. All right, let's come in here. We're going to use our the middle ground here of our two browns. Tapping it in, dropping down, little things, little bits. It's not going to be a perfect face, you know what I mean? Little thing over here. Start mixing this in with our darkness. And then scroll down, get a little darker, right? Just have a little indication back in there. And then we're going to want to go around the exterior of the mouth, right? Leaving the mouth open like that. And then you'll have this, oh, you can already see him. It's gorgeous, guys. It's gorgeous. More little taps just to kind of fill in some bits of, like, of course there would be some shadows and stuff, but there still has to be some bark on the tree in order to get those bright areas. Use a bit of our pure plaque to form the supremely dark eye holes. And just like that, you got a cool little tree guy. Oh, I like him. I like him. Plaque out the opening of his mouth like that too. He's like, oh, I like it. All right, let's get our highlights, the rest of them anyway that we can. Any little piece that you can get to stick off and attach itself onto your little branch is one more little bit of texture that your purchaser is going to be able to feel. Right? It's a cool little thing. Cool little thing. Now, you don't have to have it on every little guy. And it's not going to work on some of our branches that are all rounded and stuff, right? Because we're trying to use a flat surface or a flat edge right here. But the more you can get on there in different places, the cooler it's going to be for your purchasers. Since all you guys are little artists out there selling stuff, I know you are if you're lucky enough to, right? Not everybody is lucky enough to be able to do it. So feel blessed, honored, you know what I mean? If somebody out there wants your painting enough to actually buy it, like, that's a big deal. Made me cry my very first one, totally honest. Just being totally honest, made me cry. I'm gonna put that super bright right on top of that little bit too. There we go, just catching some of that real bright orange with our yellow ochre piece, right? Not everywhere, because not every piece of the thing is gonna have that texture, that color. It's going to change and roll through the branches, right? Very cool. Very cool, guys. Okay, now, remember about that little mouse. I'm telling you, that mouse is probably the best mouse ever. All right, let's throw in some bushes right here at the bottom. We'll be all set, guys. Now, again, I don't want to go with the supreme dark plaque color because nothing in here besides the eye holes and the tree branches are really dark plaque. So let's get a little of our plaque mix into that brown, into our crimson color, really changing it up. And let's say we start popping out, right? Out over our little rivery bit, right up against the waterfall. Dangle some of these guys out and down. The more we get down, the more we get down. The darker it'll be, right? You come down here, don't need to highlight every little piece of every little guy down there. Okay, now we do have to come off and highlight a couple little areas of that bush, and then we'll be all set. So, you guys want to see this wicked cool mouse? This mouse, I'm telling you, probably the coolest mouse ever. And it does a light party, guys. And it was like $12 on TikTok Shop. Super cool. I've never wanted to play with my mouse more often than since I got this one. It's got all sorts of light options and different settings and little things you can work with. It's really neat. I suggest you guys get one. They're in the TikTok Shop. And they're like $4. Maybe like $9, but whatever. I think I paid $12 for mine, but they're probably less expensive now when you really come to think about it. A little bit of tree trunk on that guy, and our tree trunk over here. We got real darkness way back there with all that texture, just from using the rest of our paint. So, Anna, you got to come up with a title for this one, guys. She might need your help. She might just need your help. What are you going to think? What are you going to title this? Only you can decide. Let me get a little bit of blue. I love that bluey color. Just little things just hanging out there in the daylight. Right? Hanging out in the daylight, guys. Going into our purpley color. Just as we get behind this little tree, it gets a little darker. A little bit more purpley, right? You can still see there are bushes back there. Just can't see them as well, right? Just can't see them as brightly as all the other ones. Some blue on the other edge of our tree back there. Very cool, guys. I like it. I like that, as they say. Or as I say. I like that. Gorgeous. One little bit, just one little touch here and there. And drop some of them little bits of bluers all the way down the edge. A little bit of blueies down there too. Why not? Just reaching for the edge, man. Oh, that's so cool. So, Anna, what do you think? Let me know. What do you got for a name, guys, for this one? She's going to need your help. She might already have a title already suggested, but maybe she's sitting there reading the comments and she sees your title for it and then instantly wants to change. Right? So, type it in. What would you think you would call this painting if you had just purchased it? Or say you were me and you had just painted it. What would you call it? I rely on you guys to name them anymore because I've named way too many. Just way too many. There we go. Okay, 2 more brushes, maybe 3. 2, maybe 3. So what are you going to call this painting? Let Anna know. And she'll let me know. And then we can rock and roll. Yeah. Let's add the old bird fam in. For anybody who did say yes, that we did have enough paint on the palette, you guys were 100% correct. 100%. We did have enough to do the whole big tree and all the bushes and all the branches. So you guys were right, like always. Caw-caw! Just flying through the night. I like that. Alright, guys. Throw the old Josh Hancock down here somewhere. In there. In there. Gorgeous. Perfect. All right, guys, so what do we got for a title? And then we'll clean up and get ready for the next one. Okay, that brush all cleaned up. Gotta wipe down the old palette. What are you gonna call this painting, guys? What are you gonna call it? Let's see. Did we not reverse? Josh, come on. Mirror, thank you. What would you call this beauty? Autumn awakens. False summer. I like all those. Just the brightness going right on those. Wow. Wow, he says. I wish Owen Wilson were here so he can go, wow. Which totally sounds like just facetious, right? Like he's not being serious when he says that. It's like, are you being sarcastic? Because I can't tell. That guy all cleaned up. Boom. Somehow I got paint all over my hands still. Autumn Dreams. Those are awesome titles, you guys. Literally awesome. Remember, you can get all these panels if you shop in my little TikTok shop thingy right here. Bink! That little thing down there. You can get all those. I got 6 more packs coming. I'm doing the entire studio and the entire wall of my apartment. It's going to be really cool. Fire Falls. Ooh, I like it. Slumber Falls. That's a cool one, too. Ah, that's a cool one, guys. All right, where's my marker? Ye olden marker. Fire of Beauty. Just call it oil painting. I like that, Mac. That's a good title. Frayed Ends of Sanity. I like that one too. I'm there. I'm at the edge. The very tip. Fire Falls is cool. My voice tends to lull you to sleep, Jennifer, until we go boom. Right? It's probably something like that ruins it. Or bow, 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 bow. Accidentally Autumn is cool. Where's Anna at? Anna, are you still here? We got all these titles for you to choose from. And we're gonna need one. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to choose, right? So you guys, by the way, we're gonna have a light party. So here's your flash warning. The screen's gonna go crazy for about 10 seconds, in about 5 seconds, and I'll audibly tell you it's okay to turn around and look when it's all over. So 3, 2, 1, light party! It's a long one. All right, I'm ready. I'm ready for a long one. Very cool. All right, the light party is now concluded, you guys. What is the long title, she says? Right here. Right there. Ba-boom. Think. What's it gonna be? Watcher of the Woods. Be a pretty cool title. All right, this one's number 1495. We're 5 paintings away from 1500. Autumn, the years of last, loveliest. I am so gonna misspell every word. All right, autumn. Semicolon, okay. That's the one with the dot above it, perfect. The years last. Oh, the years as in, like, the years smile, copy. So it would have an apostrophe, correct? The years, I'm just going to leave room for it. Last Leviathan. Last Leviathan smile. Perfect. I love that, guys. Awesome title. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This one was painted on 9/26 of 2023. We're all going to go to PaintWithJosh.com because it's the best. Okay, TikTok is the best. Then maybe Instagram, but then PaintWithJosh.com. Top 5. Top 5, at least. Right? Am I wrong? I gotta say it is. Anyway, look at the colors in this one, guys. The blue, the purple, the green, the red, the orange, the yellow, the brown. I think we use every single color in the book. Where's the color book? Are there any more colors in it? Book of colors! Are there any more colors in you? Thanks, Anna, by the way. I love ya. I love ya. All right. The year's last loveliest smile. I dig it. Ended up so pretty. I agree, guys. Let's get the spinny winny wheel for you. It's the spinny winny wheel. The wheel of spinny winniness. Boom, guys. So since Anna got during the live show, right? Purchase painting during the live show, she gets her spin on the spinny winny wheel, and it's just a gift. It's a gifting wheel. Whatever it ends up landing on, I end up gifting to her for getting during the live show. Hey, your choice of a glitter wicks candle. That's my favorite. Probably one of the best things on the old wheel over there. So, let's see what she... Boom, guys. So, I appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing, right? We're going to come back in about an hour, and we're going to paint the one that we painted to start with, right? So we did this guy earlier and showed you how to make it look like this, right? So this is the one that we painted right at the beginning of the show, and then we'll go and wet wash it and paint it in oils during the next show. Should be really cool. Really, really cool. Now, ba-boom. Ba-boom. Guys, look at the face on this tree, by the way. Look at the face on this sucker. It's like, oh, it's gonna bite me. He's gonna bite me with his little mouth, his little tree mouth. All right, so love you guys. This one came out awesome. Very faint little bridge in the back. Awesome little waterfall, very flat with the water. Everything looks good over there. Kept our dark separators in between the land and the water. Just fabulous. So, beyond that, let's see. Let's just see. Yeah, we'll be back in about an hour. So, I gotta get set up and get ready to do the next thing, and then, you know. Yes, Bill, the tree is about to collapse onto us from all that weight. Just gonna go right into your skull. All right, so. Love you guys. I can't wait to come back. We'll do it again. And I got the gift. We signed it. We thinged it. We did all this stuff. We talked about the panels in the back. Talked about the mouse, the phone screens, and the tripod. Came out amazing. So, I love you guys. And next one, I was going to do a blue sky with a little bit of green and then yellow down here. And just in the beginning of the show, I just brain farted it and put the yellow in the top. And I was like, well, I guess we're going to have to go with the yellow this time then. So... But yeah, definitely blue sky on this guy. Definitely a blue sky. So, yeah, and it'll be in my website as well. You guys can grab that one just like Anna grabbed this one. It'll be the same price. It is the same size, and you got to watch me do it the beginning and the end. So, ooh, pink and purple would be cool as well. I've done the teal and purple. That's gorgeous. And I mean, you got pinks and purples in this one as well, but predominantly yellowish, yellowy orangey. Love it. So, can't stop staring. I've got a TV over here where I see what you guys see, right? I'm like, oh, that looks amazing. That looks so good over there, right? So I'm always like, so. In any case, love you guys. I mean, yeah, right. No. I meant to do a blue sky, but we'll do that one next anyway. It'll be cool. Whichever one we did this time, we would have done the opposite on the next show anyway. So, but we'll go with a blue sky, probably a tree with a face, and a little yellow or a golden river falls again, but with the blue and the green, predominantly blue and green and yellow. and then we'll highlight up some stuff. It'll be gorgeous. So, you guys, am I painting Sunday? Yes, I do. I paint on it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I try to do 2 shows per night. So we do 10 paintings a week. So there will be 2 paintings on Sunday. We start at the same time each time at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then the second show is at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or between 7 and 7:30. Like this one, we ran over an hour a little bit, so I'll be back at around 7:30, we'll call it, and be back for the next one, right? 6:05 right now. So, you guys have been awesome. I love you. I love the title. I love everything about this painting. It came out amazing. And, yeah, it's going to be cool. So, until I see you guys again, gathering supplies, Easter, yes, 10. Well, 10:30. 10:30 for the East Coast. Be back here at 10:30, guys. Otherwise, you're going to be marked late or absent from the Paint with Josh class, right? So you don't want that to happen. It goes on your permanent record, okay? 10:30 on the East Coast. All right. I love you guys. I can't wait to come back. We'll do it at 7:30 West Coast, 10:30 East Coast. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day and bye.